Hello everybody. So welcome back to my YouTube channel Java Guru Ravi, and in this video we are going to discuss certain compatibility issues that we can encounter while assigning the values to one particular primitive data types. So let us understand what kind of compatibility issues normally we get during the programming. So first is in the integer types, right. So we have 4 integer type of primitive data types: byte, short, int and long. So all these 4 integer type of primitive data types are allowing you the numeric values, means integer literals, if they are in the range, right. So let us say I am trying to assign 130 here to a byte variable. So what is the range of byte variable? The byte variable range is minus 128 to 127, right. So if you have to assign any value between minus 128 to 127, although these integer values, numeric literals are by default int, but if they are within the range for integer types, means for byte, short, int and long data types, if the number that you are assigning is within the range, then there is no issue. It means if I assign here 120 to the byte variable, so although as per the concept 120 is int and I am assigning int to byte, so it should be narrowing, but this is an exceptional case. In case of integer types, if the value is within the range of a data type, then it will be allowed without any type conversion. Means this statement will be compiled and it will be giving you the value 120 for B. But as soon as I write here byte B is equal to 130, so this 130 is not in the range of byte. Why? This is an int value, byte range is minus 128 to 127, it means it is beyond the range. Up to 127 I can assign, there is no problem, but if I try to assign 130, so 130 is now beyond the range of byte, and if you try to assign it to the byte, it will say incompatible types, right. This is incompatible types. It means you are trying to assign int to byte, it means it will come in the category of narrowing. If you want to put this value in the byte, a large value in the smaller container, so adjustments will be required, and for that adjustment you have to give the consent in the form of narrowing, that is explicit typecasting. So how you can execute this code? You can write something like this. Here you have to do the type conversion into byte and then you will write 130. So this is your rule of integer types. If you are trying to assign the value within the range, then there will be no problem, but you are trying to assign the value beyond the range, then it will give you compilation error, and if you want to still assign in the this variable, then you have to go for this typecasting. So this code will be executed, and what will be the value here? How the value will be converted? It is something like this, minus 128 and here 127. Now you are putting 130 in this range. So how it will be happening? 127, then it will go in the circular manner. 127, 128, 129, 130. 130 will come here. And what is this value in the number line? It is minus 126. So output will be minus 126 if you will print this value, right. So this is for the integer types, means byte, short, int, long. If the value is within the range of that type, no problem, no conversion, but if you are trying to assign the value beyond the range, you have to do the type conversion, but value will be readjusted according to the range of the actual data type. Next thing is, so here the output I am writing, it will be giving you minus 126. Similarly, if you write here 128, so 128 will give you minus 128 as per the number line. 127, then it will come here minus 128. Second is for the floating point. If you talk about the floating point, so I have already discussed in the previous video that all the floating point literals are double in nature. Means if you are writing 3.75, so 3.75 is double, right. If you want to assign this into a float variable, you can see here I am writing floats is equal to 3.75. So, it will again give you a compilation error, incompatible types, possible lossy conversion from double to float, because this is double and you are trying to assign it to a float. Double to float is narrowing. So, how you can represent a floating point literal as a float? It can be having the suffix as capital or lowercase f. If you put a lowercase or uppercase f, both are applicable, so it will be considered as a float literal. Now, this float can be assigned to this float type of variable. So, this is one way. If you are doing it hard coded, you can do like this, but if you are receiving some value from somewhere, maybe something like this. So, what you have to do is, you have to do the narrowing, because double to float is narrowing. It means you will be writing like this, narrowing in float 3.75. So, this is the rule for type conversion and adjusting the compatibility in a case of float data type. Then third one is for the long. Now, let us understand this with an example of mobile number. If I have to store the mobile number, so mobile number or Aadhaar number is a 12 digit number, mobile number is a 10 digit number, your credit card number can be your 12 to 16 digit number. So, in that case it goes beyond the range of int, because int can take all the values up to 9 digits plus up to 21 something is the range of integer. So, it can take up to 21 up to 10 digit number, but if I have to store the mobile number, so I have to take a long data type. So, I have taken a long data type, long mobile, and here I am taking a value. Now, if you try to compile this line will also give you compilation error. This line is going to give you a compilation error. It will say integer number too large. Why integer number too large? Because I told you any integer type of literal is int, but you are writing some value which is beyond the range of int. So, it will say integer number too large, it will say ki it is not an int value, right, but I am saying it is a long value. But how the compiler will come to know that this is a long value? Here again, similar to float type, if you have to represent a long value, then you have to suffix a L, capital or small, right. So, you have to write here something like this to represent it as a long value. So, now it will be considered as a long literal, and then it can be assigned to long variable, right. So, this is the representation of a long value in case of Java, right. Boolean is not compatible with any type. So, there is nothing related to Boolean, it accepts only true and false values, all in the lower case. Next compatibility is for the char type. Char is a special case in case of Java. So, let us understand char in detail. So, there are a couple of important things. First important point about the char is that char type of variable can be assigned any integer literal which is within the range of char data type, that is between 0 to 65535. It means if I write something like this, char C is equal to 65. So this is acceptable. I am creating a char type of variable, but I am assigning 65. 65 is an integer literal, so it can be assigned here because char allows the integer value to be assigned. So it will represent the ASCII value corresponding to 65, that is capital A. So char C will be assigned capital A here, right? But you cannot write here minus 65 because minus is not the range of char, 0 to 65535 only, right? So this will give you compilation error. I can also write something like this, C equal to 90 also later on. Anywhere you can assign some integer literal directly to the char type. Char is compatible with integer literal, not int type of variable. What I mean to say is, if I write here int x is equal to 65 and if I write C is equal to x, I am trying to assign x, which is an int value 65, to char variable C, this code will give you compilation error. Why? Because char is compatible with integer literal, not with int type of variable. Variable assignment is not allowed, but the assignment of integer values is allowed, right? So this is the general rule where no need of typecasting, but char also allows the typecasting. In this case, what you can do is you need to do narrowing. So simple rule is there that char is compatible with all the numeric types, that is called as integral types, which includes integer types as well as floating point type, with narrowing concept. Means even from the byte to char is narrowing, short to char is narrowing, long to char is narrowing, int to char is narrowing, float to char is narrowing, and double to char is also narrowing. So from any integral type, integral includes integers as well as floating point. So from integral type to char is narrowing. It means I can write like this, C is equal to char of x. So this is executable, this will be working because I am type converting, means narrowing this int into char. So int to char is narrowing. Even if it is byte, so byte to char is also narrowing. Byte to char is not widening. So byte to char will also be narrowing. It will execute once again, right? So these are certain compatibility issues regarding the primitive data types. So that's all about this video. Thank you.